Dreamers! Welcome back to A Dream in Japan. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. In recent days, I've gotten a lot of subscribers due to my jet-related content, so I'm going to keep the ball rolling, keep you guys a little bit more informed than you have been by the jet program, and hopefully alleviate some of your stress. So today we are going to address why you maybe haven't had contact from your school or your predecessor yet, and expectations for contact. We're also going to talk about what you can do if you haven't been contacted by your predecessor. So think of this as the pre-arrival due to coronavirus update. That sounds terrible. I'll try to title the video something better than that. In the second half of this video, I'm going to talk about how this will affect your startup costs, and please feel free to ask any additional questions in the comments. I've been replying to all of your comments, but let's get started. The TLDR of this video is a doozy, so I'll just start with it and then we're gonna backtrack. The doozy is you probably don't have a predecessor anymore. I know that sucks to hear. You obviously have a predecessor, but they are already gone. Thus, that's going to affect how and when you are contacted by a predecessor. So let's backtrack a little bit. Let's talk about Corona. I mean, coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to say, but Japan calls it Corona. Corona in Japan obviously affected the jet program pretty heavily. In early 2020, when the coronavirus first started, the jet program allowed ALTs to break contract for free, basically meaning they didn't have to pay for their plane flight home, they didn't incur any additional fees. So quite a few ALTs at that time, and since then, have jumped ship. Then, of course, we had the regular amount of ALTs who left in July through September 2020, and then nobody came. So then in July 2021, ALTs also left. So an average year is about a turnover of 2,000 ALTs. That leaves a whopping 5,000 empty placements for ALTs, which means there's 5,000 of you waiting in your home countries to get to Japan. Those incoming 2020 ALTs probably had some contact from their predecessor because at that time, well, I was one of them. I contacted my predecessor. They thought they were coming and they weren't. So I left, and everything that I told my successor is totally different now. So it doesn't really matter that she had contact with me. And the harsh reality of that is that the jet program sort of freaked out. For the 2021 ALTs, I'm pretty sure that the jet program was just like, we're not going to tell them until the very last minute because we don't know what's happening. So for the ALTs that left in July 2021, they most likely didn't know who their successor was before they left. You can't be contacted by a predecessor if your predecessor left. So what does that mean for you if your ALT left? That means that what you're really waiting for is contact from your school or your Board of Education. And that can be a little bit slower because your school or your Board of Education isn't going to seek you out on social media. They are going to contact you through proper channels, such as email and even more possibly snail mail. So keep an eye on your spam email boxes, keep an eye on your actual mailbox. I know I got both an email and snail mail from my school when I was contracted, but that wasn't during coronavirus. And the second harsh reality of this is that your predecessor has left, which is a good chance that your apartment and everything that was in it is gone. So I'm going to talk more about that in my post-arrival part 2 video, which I will link in the description once I've made it. So what can you expect in terms of contact from your school? If you were a 2020 incoming ALT, it's most likely that you had some contact with your school or predecessor, so please just keep in touch with them, see if the reality is changing as now departure dates have started to come. If you were a 2021 placed jet and you have yet to have any contact from a school or predecessor, here's what I'm gonna say. Average contact comes 4 to 6 weeks before your arrival, which means that if you're getting your departure date now and it's a month out, you should be getting contact. And once you do get contact, just be polite. your Japanese teachers don't know anything more than I know. They can answer questions about your apartment, they can answer questions about your predecessor's name, but they really won't be able to answer any more specific questions. So please don't bombard your poor Japanese teachers. They don't know. If you don't get contacted by your school, it's okay. It sucks, stressful, but it's a reality every single year. There's always some schools across Japan that just don't reach out to their ALT. Typically, it's because you're going to an elementary school or junior high school, your Board of Education is smaller, and there's a chance that no one at your Board of Education is really fluent or confident in their English abilities. And so they just decide that it's a little bit easier to not contact you. It does suck, but it is just sort of the reality of the elementary school circumstance. So if you don't get contacted, don't freak out. Here's 3 things that you can do to help mitigate your situation. Number 1, find your prefecture's Facebook groups. I've said this in every video. If you don't have a Facebook, get a Facebook. That's how you're going to connect with people. You can delete it afterwards if you really want, but find your Facebook groups. Search Facebook for your prefecture's name with JET program. If you're not on the JET program, I know Interact ALTs and Aeon ALTs who have joined the local JET Facebook groups. So don't feel bad being like, hey, I'm coming to Japan too. Can I join your group of foreigners? Yes, we the Jets are not that exclusive. It is more exclusive certainly than Interact or Aeon, but we will definitely accept you because we're awesome foreigners. So once you've found your Facebook group, you have a huge resource. Use the resource. Introduce yourself on the Facebook group, ask about your predecessor, ask if you can get in contact with your predecessor. If you don't know, but you know your school, say what school you're going to, say what city you're going to be in, and ask if there are other ALTs in the area who you can talk to and get a ballpark idea of what's going on. Start getting in touch with the ALTs in your local area. See or ask if they have Discord servers. I know that the 2020-2021 incoming ALTs have a Discord server. So if you're not on that already and you're not making friends there, get on that. That's a bonus point. So that's your best source of advice and information is your Facebook group page. I can't stress that enough. The other thing that you can do is you can hop on over to my other videos about startup costs. I made 2 videos for both Inaka or countryside jets and city jets, but I would suggest if you are a coronavirus era incoming ALT that you focus on the section of my videos that I talk about coming in without a predecessor. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was able to alleviate a little bit of stress or at least give you a little bit more about why you probably haven't been contacted by your predecessor. I'm really waiting for you guys to get here so that all of the current ALTs' lives are a little bit easier, even though starting all of you 5,000 ALTs up is gonna be a workload in and of itself. It's gonna be so worth it. We're really looking forward to you getting here. Please give this video a thumbs up if it helped alleviate your stress or taught you something you didn't already know, which I hope it did. And please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to post part 2 of this video about how coronavirus will affect your startup costs and post-arrival journey. Please leave a comment if you have questions or if this was helpful. Please start your own little communities on Facebook and start getting in touch with the people who you're gonna be friends with. Thank you so much for watching, dreamers. Keep dreaming, dreamers.